everyone, and welcome to this FPL Gameweek 34 live stream with me, Holly Shand. It's a really tight turnaround to the next deadline following the conclusion of Gameweek 33, 36 hours. So, you know, a lot of people clamouring to figure out what decisions to make. And it's such a big game week as well. It is the biggest double game week that we've got remaining this season. 6 teams have a double, including Brighton, Liverpool, Manchester City and Manchester United, who a lot of our picks will be centred around. We also know that Brighton, City and United also have further doubles down the line. So some big decisions to make. In this stream, I'm going to be looking at my transfer plans, which have changed a little bit since the team selection video that I posted on Thursday. Also going to be rounding up all the information from the press conferences as well and answering your questions. So if you are in, do come and say hello in the chat. Let me know as well what are your dilemmas ahead of double game week 34. I'm going to try and answer as many of those as possible. In terms of where I'm at with things at the moment then, I'm kind of dining out on this fantastic game week 33 that I had. I still woke up a little bit tinged with sadness that I didn't make it to the 100 club because it was so close. You know, a lot of things went my way in terms of my players that delivered and also players that I didn't own that didn't deliver. So the Salah blank was huge for me to have those differential points from Steele and Mings, and then the Haaland captaincy, Kane coming up with the goods, Rashford delivering, Bruno Fernandes somehow coming back from being on crutches on Monday to play 90 and get an assist. He actually missed a really good big chance as well. Like, he could have easily had another attacking return. Cher had a goal cleared off the line, which would have been a Trippier assist, then had another goal ruled out for offside. And obviously, Newcastle lost the clean sheet late into the game. So if a few more things had come together, I could have been on for an absolutely monster score. But a game week rank of 38,000 is my best game week of the season. Game week 21 was another good one where I got a 95. So from starting the season at 5.7 million, I think I'm about 20 points off the top 100k now. Obviously no chips left to play, but, you know, I'm starting to think that maybe I can claw back my 5th consecutive top 100k finish, redeem myself after what's been a really challenging season. In terms of my team at the moment and my transfer plans, it's really difficult, if I'm honest, to figure out what is best to do. And I think I've made peace with not going with Salah. I'm interested to know how the poll goes with the captaincy, but as much as Salah seems essential this week, I think his effective ownership around my rank was about 60% last week. Obviously, a few more people have transferred him in. I need to actually check how many people have transferred him in, but the people that are bringing him in, not that many actually, 90,000 as things stand. The people that are bringing him in are not necessarily going to captain him. So I think that will keep his ownership low enough that I can avoid him. Now, the moves I discussed on my team selection video was Kane out for Diogo Jota. And within that move, I was going to then upgrade Henry to Alexander-Arnold. Okay? And that, it was a move that I was fairly comfortable with before Kane did what he did against Manchester United. And Jota is now yellow flagged as well. Let me show you this. This was from Klopp's press conference this morning. Are we even going to see that? I mean, these press conferences today, guys, are an absolute mess, by the way. Let me find where it was again. Here, look, Diogo Jota got a bad knock on his back against West Ham, but it should be all right. We'll see how that develops. Apart from that, we should be okay. I don't think Liverpool have trained since the game on Wednesday night, so that's kind of given me even more doubt about Jota now. Obviously, he got substituted on the 59th minute, I think, and 58th minute, sorry, and that was for that reason. But are his minutes going to be managed because the schedule's so congested for Liverpool? It has been for a week or so. That continues. So you know that Kane's going to play 90 minutes every game, don't you? Jota's only getting me one more fixture, but he's not getting me as many minutes. So now I'm looking at, let me get this right, potentially going Watkins out and Henry out, which is going to let me get to Trent. And then I'll probably, I could go for a really cheap striker, but I probably will go for Solanke because I think, he's still a good first sub, and there's fixtures that I'll fancy playing him in between now and the end of the season. Possibly 36 against Palace away, definitely 38 against Everton away. So that's the moves that I'm looking at making this week, which would mean that I would play Kane as a single game week option. I would play Trippier as a single game week option, and I would still have I'd have Trent in the place of Rico Henry. So that's where I'm at with that. If you are in, do say hello in the chat, start dropping your questions, and hit that like button if you haven't done so already, because all the support that you can give me is really appreciated. There's 71 in of you at the moment. Let's try and get it to 50 likes for a starter, but hopefully to 100. Appreciate everyone that is joining me this lunchtime. So one thing I wanted to discuss, press conferences today. Obviously, we've got that update on Jota, as I've just shared. So I've heard from Klopp already this morning. There's other press conferences going on. So at 1:30 we should hear from Brighton, which is going to be a big one, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa and Man City. There are some press conferences that aren't going on as well. So the fixtures are a bit of a mess this week. Arsenal-Chelsea, which is a single game week for them teams, they don't play till Tuesday evening. So I think this is caused by the bank holiday in the UK on Monday. So that means that there's no press conference for Arsenal or Chelsea. We had the Wolves press conference yesterday. There's no press conferences from the clubs that played last night. There are embargoed comments from Ten Hag, Eddie Howe, Sean Dyche and Sellers that we'll get at some point, probably tonight at about 10:30, but it could be embargoed until Saturday night at 10:30. So I don't think I'm going to make my transfers now until Saturday. The deadline stream is coming on Saturday, by the way, guys. So that's tomorrow, an hour before the deadline. So if you are enjoying this one and you'd like to join me for that one as well, where I will finalise my transfers, then I've dropped the link in the chat at the moment, and it's in the description of the video as well. So you can go on there now and like it and hit the notify button. And then it should tell you when I'm going live. So that's something to look out for as well. So if you hit that notify button there, then when I go live, it'll come in, and you can start dropping questions as well, which is fun. I can see that Gazman's already in the chat for that one. But as promised, let's move over to the live chat then, see who is in today, and start getting some questions from you as well. I've seen already that there's quite a lot of familiar faces in, so appreciate everyone that keeps coming back to this regular slot to speak to me, dropping your questions as well. So Mahad is in, as is Ben, Wayne, Cal, Wen, Ahmed, Sam, Just Dad posting, Peter is in, FPL Guy, FPL Boo Boo, John as well, Robbo Ball, Akshat is in as well. So great to hear from you all. Seeing the members emojis there. Thank you so much to Sam and Akshat for supporting the channel. Sam said, Haaland all the way, no more differential captains for me. Yeah, it was a polarising game week 33, and my team just kind of demonstrates how well it can go, but there was a lot of people that this has logged me out now. Let me just log back in again. It just shows you. Oh, that's not going to let me, is it? Hang on, it should do. I've got this problem. I've started using my phone as my... I'm coming unstuck here because I've used my phone now as my camera on the stream, but because I've used that, when it sends me this authentication code, I'm not going to get it. So I'm still here. what I'm going to do, this is such a pain. If I turn off camera, but I am still here, so do keep watching, guys. I just need to get back logged into the site. And then hopefully it will all work for me. But there's no point, if you can't see my team on the screen the whole stream, then it'll be pretty annoying. So apologies for this. Is it going to let me back in? Please let me back in. Here we go. Also, someone kindly emailed me saying, don't show your FPL email address on stream. So something else that I've rectified. Right, I think I'm sorted. I just need to make sure that this is all going to work again. I'll put that back on. There we go. Right, I think we're back running, guys, so I just need to reconnect the camera. I'll just put it back on the mount without trying to break my phone. I need to find a workout for this, actually. We're back. So if anyone can tell me, if I'm using an authenticator on my phone, can I use the same authenticator on my Mac or anything like that? Does the authenticator app work on Mac? Let me know. I'm getting there with technology, trying to refine things for you guys, but I do come a bit unstuck at times. But thank you for bearing with me. So Akshat said, what do you think you should do with Isaac? Transfer him out. Thinking to bring in Edison for Raya and Rashford for Andreas. Thoughts? So Isaac is going to get benched at times. I think if you've got him, it's absolutely fine because he is going to start. He was rested game week 29, the midweek double game week fixture. And he was rested game week 33 for the midweek double game week fixture. So there's a pattern developing, but he's going to play against Southampton at home. And I think if you've got Isaac, you absolutely need to be starting him this week, even if it's a single game week fixture, because I know he was robbed of the assist in game week 33. But when he starts before that, he's got 4 goals in 3, and he plays Southampton bottom of the league. So I think you play Isaac this week. The problem is when we get to game week 36, there's absolutely no guarantees that he'll play the 2 fixtures because Wilson's playing the midweek ones. So I think if you were thinking of getting Isaac in, maybe now that might change your decision. I wouldn't rush to get him in now. But if you've got him, hold him. Aksha also said, thinking to bring in Edison for Raya and Rashford for Andreas. Thoughts on that one? Yeah, I like those moves. I think they're solid moves. I do think there's utility in Andreas though, and who does it mean you bench? But, a good move all the same. The tweet deck is open as well, by the way, guys. I can't remember if I mentioned that at the top. There was a lot to kind of go through on this one. So, yeah, I did say who was going to hear from, didn't I? I'm going mad. This is caught me off guard, that whole issue with the camera and the authenticator. I'm going to have to find a fix for that if it's going to happen regularly. So see, spend ages getting set up for a stream and then the technology just fails you. Right, let's get through some more questions then. Sorry, I was prioritising some of the member ones there. So Mahad has said, can I sell Grealish for Gakpo? I think that move is fine. I mean, in terms of minutes, I don't think Gakpo is like that nailed for significant minutes, which is a shame. But I still think he could be a good option. The Liverpool options is kind of just fluctuating between who's getting the points at the moment. So, Gakpo's got the points in the last game, Jota the one before that, Gakpo the one before that. You've got to bear in mind, though, even though the fixtures are nice for Liverpool, this is their last double game week before the end of the season. They've only got the league to focus on, of course. Grealish has the form, and he's got another double in 37. Now, they have got the Champions League Real Madrid semi-finals to get through between Leeds, Everton and Everton-Chelsea. which is a big deal, obviously. So there's no guarantees Grealish plays as many minutes as Gakpo, even if he's got the extra fixture. If we look at the hub points predictions, if we look by midfielders this week, I should imagine Gakpo will beat Grealish. So Gakpo's predicted 9.8 to Grealish's 9.6 this week. But then if you look for the duration of the season, Grealish is on 33.7 points, Gakpo on 27.1 points. Remember, you can get the fully customisable points prediction tool on Fantasy Football Hub by clicking the link in the chat or description for this video. That'll get you 30% off your membership. Really good as well when we get to the pre-season planning. I personally would just keep Grealish. I don't think it's worth using a transfer to transfer someone out that has got one less fixture. But, you know, if you're asking my permission of is it plausible, it is plausible. So if you want to do it, go for it. Ben says I got 53 points last game week. Not the worst. What was the average last game week? 55. So a little bit below the average. I've put Dallo in, Salah captain 2. Is he likely to be rotated or rested maybe? He does miss an odd game now and again. He was rested for the midweek game against Chelsea, so it's certainly plausible. And this is why Fernandes, I don't want to lose him. Because look, it's a sea of 90 minutes since the restart. You look at Kane, I know he's not got any doubles. He's played 90 minutes in every game since the restart. You look at Salah, over the same period, a little bit of rotation in there. Not a huge amount, but if he could miss that midweek game against Chelsea, could he miss another game elsewhere? You never know. So it's not absolutely nailed on, especially because of the options Liverpool have as well. Like, Fernandes is undroppable for Man United. Kane's undroppable for Spurs. But Liverpool, you know, they've got Gakpo, they've got Darwin, they've got Jota. Diaz is back. Diaz is building up for a start soon. You never know. We've just hit 100 people in the stream, so thank you everyone for joining. Let's get it to 100 likes. If you sat there, you're watching, you haven't hit that like button yet, please do. It really does help me to get the content out to more people. It supports the channel as well. So if you haven't done so already, let's get it to 100 likes. Wayne says, hi Holly, do I buy Wilson or Isaac? Right now, if you don't own either, I'd avoid. I think you bide your time, and when we get to Newcastle's double in 36, you look at who's going to play, who's the starter, and the clue will be who's seen the rotation, because you want the player that's going to start against Leeds. That's the one that you want. Excuse me, guys. Wei Ying says, got my triple captain chip left. Thinking of using it on Haaland or Salah this week. Thoughts on this, thanks. Yep. If you've got any chips remaining, this is the week to use them. So triple captain's fine. Haaland and Salah are the main options. We have to bear in mind that having the triple captain chip in itself is a big differential at this stage in the season. So you don't need to be differential in the player that you pick to triple captain. So Haaland, best player that we've ever seen in the Premier League. Just triple captain him. Why not? I mean, the poll is pretty hot at the moment. 90% Haaland, 9% Salah, 1% other. I am going to put another poll up this week saying, are you playing a chip in Double Game Week 34? See how many have got those chips left. So go vote in that one now, please. Just a dad posting stuff. So my option this week, I have Kane and Grealish. I can afford Salah and Alvarez. Do I go Alvarez as a punt or tank that position to Greenwood and take a hit for a City defender? I mean, I had a look at Alvarez because he's an option for me as well. But when City double again in 37, you're probably going to end up having to take Alvarez out at some point to get a better City triple up for 37. So it feels like a bit of a waste. I'm going Solanke, but you can go all the way down to Greenwood. City defender, I do quite like Diaz, so I think it could be worth it. Peter is taking a -20. Wow. He won a chip this week. He's making way a Kepa. Reasonable. Chilwell, agree with that. Me, Saka, Martinelli, Watkins and Kane for Steele, Trent, Dalot, De Bruyne, Rashford, Jota, Greenwood. Oh, I don't know if I like that. That is a lot. I would... Kepa to Steele, fine. Chilwell to Trent, fine. One of Saka or Martinelli to Rashford, fine. Maybe one of Watkins if you need the funds. But I'd probably leave me. Especially if it's going to mean that you're going to have to bench Trippier. That would be... Depends who you're going to bench to get these players in. I think it's too bold. There's a limit. -12. It kind of can be justified in a double game week. -16 if you're playing a chip. Potentially to settle for a bench boost, but not -20. FPL guy said I've got a 92 if not for doing Salah and Jota in for Kane. A lot of money. I think a really popular move last week was to get Salah in for Bruno Fernandes and Jota in for Kane. And I think there was quite a big swing on that. For a hit as well. 8 doublers now. What do you think of downgrading Watkins and Chilwell to Trent and Solanke? Yeah, I like that move. I think Trent's really important to get now because, you know, the defender spots have been a bit troublesome this season, but Trent's now in form. 5 assists in 4 since moving into that midfield role. He's out of position. He's got 10 attacking returns for the season now, and I think he's just going to kick on. He always finishes the season strong. Really nice fixtures for Liverpool. Not had any clean sheets in a while, but surely they're due. So, yeah, I like those moves. I'm just going to hop over to the tweet deck. We have hit 50 likes on the stream, which is great to see. So thank you for everyone that's liked it so far. I'm not really expecting any press conferences till 1:30, but it's good just to keep an eye on things. At the moment, it's all quite quiet. Talk of Sheffield United back in the Premier League, which is nice to see them back. Yeah, it's all pretty quiet on the tweet deck. So I'll move back over to answering some of your questions. FBL Boo Boo says, like the stream, guys. Thank you for that, Boo Boo. We are on 51 likes. There's 118 of you watching. So hopefully you can see my pinned message. Let's get the stream to 100 likes. Really, I would really appreciate that. John says, Isaac at home against Southampton is basically a double game week, isn't it? Yeah, that's why I would really be reluctant to make that move. Is it Roboball? I keep saying Roboball, sorry. Roboball says, Kane or Tony, who to bench this week? That is tough. Really nice fixture for Tony. If we look at the predictions for this week for forwards, Tony's on 7.8, Kane's on 5.4. If we look at FPL Salah's posted the anytime scorer percentages, Tony's at 40%. Kane isn't on the list, so that makes me think that Kane's lower. So possibly Tony. A bold decision, though, to have to make. Sam has said, what was your reason behind Steele instead of a Stupinan? So for me with Steele now, I thought he was still nailed on. It looks like he is. I mean, he saved a pen against Forest, but he did concede 3 goals. But, you know, I don't think he was really at fault for those. So we need to kind of... Another poor performance could see Steele dropped, so it is risky. But then Estupiñán had an awful game against Forest as well. So it's a tricky one. I think you've just got to kind of go with what you've got at this stage. Zoran said, would you play bench boost this week? Yep, absolutely. Mav says, Trippier or Isaac? That is another really tough one. We'll go back to the predictions. I'm going to have to select all players, aren't I? Filter by Newcastle. So Trippier 6.2, Isaac 5.4, but that's with Isaac being a bit of a rotation risk, but Wilson starting the last game. I think Isaac will start this one. It's a really tough call, that one. I think I would go Isaac personally. Sean says, have to bench one of my single game week forwards. Should it be Watkins or Kane? I think Watkins. Oh, Zoran said, would you play bench boost for Watkins, Tarkowski, Isaac and Ward? Yeah, definitely. I would improve the bench, though, particularly if you've got Ward. I mean, I don't know where you are with goalkeepers, but if you could get in a goalkeeper that's got some utility for the rest of the doubles, like a Steele, maybe an Edison, I would do that just to strengthen that bench boost. It's fine to take a hit to make the bench boost perfect, especially if you've got a non-starter in there. I can see your reluctance, though. Never Give Up FPL says, woohoo, Haaland triple captain, love it. Now, looking at the poll results, 47% are playing a chip this week. So I am a little bit worried about my rank having not played a chip. I think the fact that I'm not taking a points hit is quite big as well. I'm going to put another poll up. This one is, are you taking a points hit for the double? And the options are -4, -8, -12 or more, and no hit. So we'll see how that one gets on as well. I'll be moving over to the tweet deck shortly for the 1:30 presses. I will come back to all the questions that you've asked as well, guys. But I would also like to just take a little bit of time to talk to you about Sorare. Had a really good midweek on Sorare on the Premier League Pro. In my lineup, I had Haaland, who scored 97 points. The matrix goes up from 40 to 100. Trent got an 86 and Bomo came off the bench and scored. This Haaland card, I don't know if this is going to show you properly, but this Haaland card is currently worth about £300. I'm giving it away to the winner of my private league. So there's still time to join and get involved in the private league. I'm quite a way off the top, so I don't think I'm going to win it myself. But Sorare, it's a really fun game. 5-a-side FPL basically every week. Bit more of a dynamic scoring matrix. This is my lineup for this week. Captain Haaland, I've got Guimaraes because there's some utility for DMs. I've got McAllister in there, who should be back in the 10 role, but even not, has got utility in there as a more defensive player, especially with the fact that he's on pens. And then I've got Trent, who's been an absolute machine since moving into midfield. And finally, I've got Steele in there with a really good chance of a clean sheet. So if you want to try out Sorare, it's absolutely free to play in this amateur competition. And the winner does get my Haaland card worth £300 at the end of the season. Click the link that I've just dropped in the chat or the description to this video. So over to the tweet deck then. So as I said at the top, we're going to hear from Brighton, Palace, Aston Villa and Man City it looks like Pep is pretty much ready to go. So I'm going to leave the tweet deck up for a little bit. I don't think I've missed anything important. While we're waiting for those comments to filter through, I will carry on answering a few of your questions. Ian says Gakpo or Grealish. Really tough decision. If you've got one, keep them. I maybe wouldn't make the switch. Steve says, it looks like I'm not going to be bringing in Jota. He didn't even get 60 yesterday. Yeah, some sort of knock to his back seems to be the problem. Sam says, what is your transfer plan for this week? Are you bringing in Salah or De Bruyne? I'm doing neither. I'm keeping Kane. I'm keeping Fernandes. I've got Haaland as a premium. I'm going to sell Watkins to Solanke, and that will afford me to make an upgrade of Trent in my defence. I'll be my only Liverpool player, so I'll have triple Brighton, triple Man United, double City attack and Trent. And then I'll play Trippier and Kane as the single game week players. I think Kane could do quite well against Liverpool away. They would look like they were carving the United defence open in the second half, and I think Ryan Mason's got them a bit more motivated. Hopefully another goal for Son will do wonders for his confidence. Kane just looks ridiculous right now. So yeah, I didn't want to lose him, because once you've sold him for Salah, then it's going to be hard to get him back. Carl says KDB on free hit. Yeah, absolutely. I did post a free hit guide earlier in the week, so hopefully that's useful. If you can't afford, it depends how your team value is. If KDB is difficult to afford, you could go Grealish. It does unlock all the other positions. Mike says Grealish increased 0.1 last night. Martinelli dropped 0.1, so my moves cost another 0.2. He said, don't wait. Well, you know, we've got Jota flagged today, which we didn't know about yesterday. We've got embargoed quotes that could come out pre-deadline. What is the early kickoff? Is there anything interesting in there? Palace West Ham, no, probably not on this occasion. It's not. Saturday's a bit of a dull day fixtures-wise. But yeah, lots can change in terms of information between now and the deadline. So I think this is kind of a week where if you are going to be priced out of moves, you had to make them early. But you know, information is key. I've lost my place in the chat now. First time today. Dragonite says Isaac or Wilson. Triggered my wildcard this morning. Same price for both. But with how mentioning who is fit, I changed from Wilson back to Isaac. Yeah, I think if it was on a wild card, the temptation for Isaac this week with that fixture is high. So I think I would go for it, but I wouldn't use a free transfer on one of them. I think Isaac will play more minutes between now and the end of the season and score more goals. Chloe says, hello, better game week 33, up to 486k overall. Would have been better if I didn't swap Raya for Kepa last minute, yeah. That was a really tough call, that one. I do feel for managers that got that the wrong way, because it was, you know, quite a big swing in points. Brentford defence are looking solid though, and Chelsea look absolutely awful. I think even Arsenal might do quite well against them. I think it's at Stamford Bridge, that one. Twisted Sparky says, I could not afford to get Salah for Bruno and get Trent in. I'll need Bruno later, so keep him and get Trent. Yeah, I'm making exactly the same decision. Mav says, authenticator is tied to your device. Can you not get an authenticator on Mac? If I was to like add it as a trusted device. Interested to know. I'll have a look. I'll tell you what, I'll add it to my to-do list and look at it after, because it's just going to be annoying if that happens every stream. Seem to be getting some embargoed quotes through from Ten Hag. Interestingly. Big compliment to Bruno. I think he's the example that you have to suffer to sacrifice the play at the top. I am just going to have a look at... I don't know if that was part of a wider piece that's maybe just gone out up on the United site. I don't know if this will allow us to watch his press conference in full. Maguire could be fit to return. Varane is still absent. Hoping to be back for the cup final. There we go. So they're the embargoed quotes from that one. Pep is in. So hopefully we'll get some quotes from him. FF Guna, is it worth taking a punt on Jota for Watkins and benching Kane? I'm just a little bit fearful of his minutes after that back issue. Like, he could be managed, couldn't he, by Klopp? Ian says Isaac ahead of Wilson for me after the rest. Yeah, I've got to agree with you there. Sparky is surprised that Kane got the assist. I was loving it. See, if you've had a shot on goal that's intended for a goal, that's on target, that's blocked, and someone scores from the follow-up, that is an assist. But when it was, I think the thing with Isaac is that he wasn't going for goal and it ricocheted about a little bit. Roboball, sorry, I keep pronouncing it wrong. Kane against Liverpool or Tony at home, who to bench? I think we decided Kane, but it's an awful decision to make. FPL guy, should I bench Martinelli, Kane or Tony? Martinelli isn't on pens, so I think he's the one you bench. That's what I would do anyway. We've got 150 of you watching now. We're 2/3 of the way there to 100 likes on the stream as well. So hit that like button if you haven't already, guys. I really do appreciate everyone that's getting involved today. A bit steady, these press conferences, for some reason, but we'll see see what Pep's got, see if anything juicy from Pep. Recovery day yesterday for City. I think that'll have been the same for a lot of players. Right, this is a big one. Ake is much better, but is not training with the team. I know a lot of people were looking for that one, so I'll drop that one in the chat. That's going to be an important one. Matthew, is KDB a good transfer for 34? Yes, absolutely. Adam, would you consider a sideways move from Estupinan to Dunk for assurance of stars? No, probably not. Because I don't feel like there's enough upside there. There's two FPL guys in the chat. There's the FPL guy and FPL guy, and they're currently having a bit of a rank off because we've got the same handle in the chat, which is quite amusing. If you are watching and you're not in the chat, hop on over and drop your questions. I'm going to aim to get as many of them answered as possible in the next 20 minutes. Damien said, congratulations on the massive rank. I wish it was my overall rank, but I'll take the 33k game week rank. If I get into the top 100k by the end of the season, I'm going to be buzzing. I'm thinking of doing Kane and Saka and Raya out for Isaac, Salah and Alisson. Do you think these are good moves? I'm not convinced, you know. I mean, I think dropping Saka and upgrading to Salah is probably worth it. If you need the funds for Kane, then that's fine. Raya to Alisson. I'm not convinced on that one, you know. Let's have a look at goalkeeper points until the end of the season. Predictions. Right, Alisson's on 24.2. Raya is quite a way down, 17.1. Fixtures are tough, aren't they? I don't know. If you want to do it, go for it. It's such a big week for making them 50-50 decisions. So I do feel for people. I think we're all struggling this week. FPL Harry is in the chat. Thank you for joining, Harry. I run a mini league, which it's called the Community 11 Invitational, because every week on Twitter on a Friday, I do a community thread with all the top tips from the community. 50 managers, all fit on one page, and Harry is currently number one. I think it was a small red this week for 246, but you know, it's doing phenomenally. If you look at his season history, he's finished top 5k last 2 seasons, and now he's in the top 250 managers right now. So I'm honoured that you're in the chat again, Harry. Thank you for joining. And he said, love the lighting. I've branched out with a camera last week. This week it's all about the lighting, which you can see behind me. I've got a little remote, so I can take requests, whatever colour you want I can do. But I was just trying to jazz it up a bit. I can make it, I think it even plays to music. I don't really know what it does, but it's on purple at the minute. Nice little FPL colour. And Harry said, no goalkeeper transfer isn't worth a -4. I've got to agree with you there, Harry. Let's get back to the tweet deck. So we've had that update on Ake. Wilf Zaha is back in training for Palace, which is good to know. It's not going to be one that's going to affect our FPL decisions, I doubt, but still good information. Adash, how was your game week? Oh, well, 94 points. Oh, thank you for giving me the opportunity to flex that rank again. I was loving it. I mean, I would have been smug as anything if I got to the 100 club, but the gods weren't quite with me on that one. Right, guys, we're at 78 likes now. Let's just boost it up to 100. That was the aim at the start of the stream. There's 150 of you in, so at best, only half of the people that are in the stream have liked it. So come on, guys. I'm bringing you this content every Friday all season. Oh, this is interesting from Trent. On his new role. I enjoy getting on the ball more. I enjoy passing. Cavish has said, which option? Salah, Trent and Greenwood in for a -4. Salah, Trent, Greenwood and Akanji in for a -8. Wouldn't do that one. Jota, Trent and Stones in for a -4. It depends who's making way for Salah, who's making way for Jota. I think Jota, Trent and Stones to get 11 out is good. I do prefer Ruben Dias though. I think he's due a goal. Team news from Leicester. We saw that this isn't all going to fit in one, is it? We saw that Iheanacho really put his body on the line to help get the assist for Maddison for Vardy's goal, and he's now out with an abductor problem, which comes as no surprise. So, injury update from Leicester. Harry said, damn, hadn't liked the stream. How embarrassing, liked it now. Thank you, Harry. Come on, from one content to creator to another. You know the rules. Murphy says 4-4-2 with a free hit. 1 doubler as first sub, just in case. Salah captain too. Seems a lot in the chat fancying Salah captain, but it was 90% Haaland on the chat. I don't think Isaac is nailed, judging by these comments from Hal this morning either. We knew that anyway. Not heard anything from Brighton yet, which was meant to be around now as well. I think that's the one that we're waiting for. I don't think I've missed it. Shaz says, thoughts on Mahrez, hold or sell. Oh, here comes Brighton's press conference. It's coming in a minute. I'd hold Mahrez. I think the fact that he was benched means that he will probably start the next game. And I think, I don't know, Fulham, is it the easier game? I don't know. I think the fact that Pepper said nothing on De Bruyne means that he's fine. It didn't look like a big issue, but could be embargoed. Twisted Sparky saying, are you bringing in Salah? I couldn't afford to get Salah for Bruno and get Trent in. Yeah, I'm not getting Salah either. Maybe that'll be my next poll. We're on a roll with the poll today. In terms of the hits, 29% are taking a -4. There's only 44% are on no hit, so 56% are on a hit, with 25% of them going with a -8 or more. Right, next poll is going to be Salah or no Salah. Let's do Mo Salah or no Salah. Make sure you click the right one, guys, because this is going to confuse everyone. So are you Mo Salah or no Salah for the double game week? We'll see. I'm interested to know. It's probably just me going without him. Just me, the crazy one. We're 3 likes off, guys. Whoever hasn't liked yet, please get on with it. We need to get to 100. Appreciate all your support, though. Loads of great questions coming in. There's about 150 of you in at the moment as well, which is fantastic. Never give up. FPL's playing triple captain on Haaland. Twisted Sparky says, playing a chip for my second team. Only religious names allowed, so no Haaland all season. So it's Pope, Jesus. Son, does Sonny get in? Is he religious enough? Adam and Eve. Right, Ferguson is out for, potentially out still for Brighton. Veltman can play. Now that Veltman can play is a significant one because that means that McAllister could be back in the 10 role. Because Gross had been covering at right back because Veltman was out. But Veltman back in, Gross can go more into a DM role, move McAllister forward into a number 10, which is obviously going to help him. So that's good to know. We've done it. We're at 97 now, we're at 110. You've gone crazy on the like button. Thank you, guys. You've made my day. Daryl has said, would you start Martinelli v Chelsea or take a hit to bring in Bruno? Rest of the mids are Salah, Rashford, 2 Brighton mids. I think I'd get Bruno in. I mean, for a hit, it's difficult to weigh up who's making way. But if we look at midfielders' projected points for the rest of the season, Fernandez is third on 40.6 points, and I'm having to scroll and click load more to get to Martinelli, 23.9. So yeah, I think that could pay dividends. You're getting 6 fixtures for the price of 4 there. It's the tweet deck I wanted, wasn't it? Andrew Taylor says, replace Martinelli and Kane with De Bruyne and Solanke, or replace White and Watkins with Trent and Edouard, or neither. I think I prefer the second move, but I don't know if I'd get Edouard. Could you get Solanke or go to Greenwood and have that dead spot? Adrash says, Holly, switch from Kepa to Steele or a Brighton defender, Dunk or a Stupinan. I think Steele gives you great utility to the end of the season, especially if you're confident that he's going to get the minutes. He's not going to lose his place. Shanto is asking for the Jota update. Have I lost it now? Tell you what I'll do, because I've got it bookmarked. I'll put the bookmark in. Here it is. If anyone was Wanting that one still. Boo Boo, if you could give me your questions rather than... Oh, it's your bench boost team, I see. Alisson, Edison, Trent Shaw, Trippier, Zuma, Estupinan, Salah, Grealish, Matoma, March, Haaland, Solanke. I mean, I'm not that keen on a couple of those picks, particularly Zuma and Martial, Solanke, but, you know, you kind of got to roll with your bench boost now. If you've not played it yet, you need to play it this week. I think that's possibly it in terms of injury news. What I want to do, guys, using the My Team tool on the hub, is show you my transfer plans. So Watkins is going to be leaving for Solanke possibly, and that will allow me to get from Henry to Alexander-Arnold. So that's going to be for free, and that will give me 9 doublers. Trippier and Kane as the single game week options. No Salah, just 1 Liverpool player, 2 City players. So there are compromises here, but I don't want to lose Fernandes at all now. And Kane, I do think that he could do a really good job for me between now and the end of the season. It's got Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Brentford, Leeds for the run-in. And he's basically delivering every game. So I really don't... I've decided that I don't want to lose Kane. You've got to remember, I think he's only like 25 points off Haaland. I don't even know if it's that much. He's 24 points off Haaland, right? He's on 217 points already. He's only beaten that tally twice, in 2016-17. And 2 seasons ago, he got 242. So he's only 25 points off that with 5 fixtures left. So I think he can do it. So that's why I'm not getting rid of him. But yeah, as I can see some of you in the chat are saying about the sub options. So Harry has said bench Kane v Shah, if I say his name right, or Solanke. And it's a difficult one in terms of who you're going to bench. But, you know, Kane's on pens. Shah has been dodging points in the last game and should do well against Southampton at home, but it's defender, isn't it? Solanke on pens against Leeds, again, could really punish me. The other option is that I get Greenwood, which leaves me money in the bank. It wouldn't leave me a lot of money in the bank. It would give me a dead spot. Share would start to become my first sub. That's the other option. It'll give me 2 million in the bank. So I need to weigh that up. But as I said, I'm not going to make any moves today. I'm going to decide them on the deadline stream tomorrow. So if you are enjoying this one and you want more from me before the deadline stream tomorrow will be an hour before the deadline, 10 o'clock UK time. And the link is in the description to the video. I've also popped it in the chat as well. So if you click on the link, there's a little button that says notify me here. So you can click there, click notify, drop a like again. Why not? And that'll really help me out, and that should be a good one as well. I think I'm going to leave things there then, because obviously I'm back tomorrow for the stream. But I really appreciate everyone that has joined me today. Hopefully there's been lots of useful information in there, and we've done brilliantly on the likes. We got up to 121 in the end, so I appreciate that as well. Some new subscribers as well, so thank you to anyone that's joined for the first time. Hope to see you back here tomorrow for the deadline, where I'll be confirming my transfers, but you know where I'm at the moment. If you're watching this later on, drop your questions in and I'll do my best to answer them all, or drop them in the deadline stream and I'll pick up from there tomorrow. But thank you everyone. Good luck for FPL Double Game Week 34.